Looks like we are live with Miss Danielle LaPorte. I would say that we are Gemini soul sisters. We just found out we have May birthdays that we have just celebrated, and so excited to get cozy in a soulful conversation with you, Danielle, today about really finding magic in the messy middle. So transitions and trust. And of course, White Hot Truth. You are the author of a new book, baby, White Hot Truth, which I have right here, Clarity for Keeping It Real on Your Spiritual Path from one seeker to another. But you are a best-selling multiple author. You have multiple book babies. You're also a speaker, a spiritual seeker, a poet, a business maven, mama, muse to many, and also a member of Oprah's Super Soul 100. Holy wow, you have a lot of claim to fame. And one thing that I'd like to ask you, I didn't want to ask you, but I think it's something that is so important that is coming up for so many people. We just completed a 9-year, right? So there's this transition, this fire that we are just sitting in. And I really feel this question that's coming up is, who am I? How do I introduce myself? And so I'm so curious for you today, if you were in a room full of strangers and someone asked you, what do you do? What do you say?
I can't say much, actually. Yeah. I just say I write. I don't even say I'm a writer.
Yeah.
I write. And I leave it at that.
And tell me, for like not having that label of writer, is there something for you why you choose not to say I'm a writer or an author?
Well, I actually don't feel like, I mean, of course, sometimes I claim the title as like, I'm a writer, this is what I do for a living, this is my gift, but I really feel like I'm more than that. And I wasn't a writer first. I don't think it's my original thing. I think, first I'm a seeker. I'm like devoted to figuring a few things out, and I want to share about my journey, and the language I've been given is writing.
So for people who, I think we are all multidimensional whole women, which I love that you talk about so much, that there's the scale, the high and the low. What would your recommendation be for someone who, is stuck in like, how do I say who I am in a sentence or two? Because you've got one word, which is amazing.
Well, sometimes, if you're not totally stoked about what you're doing, if it's not totally true to who you are, but you still want to engage and tell people what you're up to, I think it's really good to talk about what you're interested in. It's like, you could say, I'm a ditch digger, but I'm really interested in raising money for charity water. So it's like, somehow you have to work in to that description, like what you're really passionate about, without being victim-y.
Yeah.
About like, well, by day I'm a tax attorney, but by night, just like really have some pride in everything you're doing. And this is just my particular personal pet peeve. But I don't think saying things like, I'm helping women be liberated to their greater consciousness. Like, I actually don't think that serves anybody. It's just really confusing. It sounds inflated and super flaky. And that may be what you're doing, but just like, give people a minute. And if you're a coach, just say you're a coach. Like everybody, all coaches are they're trying to come up with some other thing. You're a coach, and I can understand that. And if somebody wants to know more and really engage with you, which are the only people you want to engage with anyway, are the interested ones, then they'll ask a little more, you'll share a little more, and you'll get to your real purpose. You'll get to say, I'm really helping women be liberated to their truth.
Yeah. Awesome. So it's the tease intro.
Yeah. It's a gradual truth intro. Yeah.
I love that.
Intro, yeah.
And I'd love to just dip into this writing piece, because I actually saw you speak in San Francisco, and I'm excited to see you speak in San Francisco again,
Oh,
then
good.
June 16th.
Yeah.
So I saw you perform one of your poems, raw, paper in hand, but so soulful, so sensual. And I remember you saying that you actually haven't performed your written poetry out loud in front of an audience. Like, it took, can you tell me a little bit about that, of just really that voice and those words staying on the page and not sharing it in front of an audience?
Well, there's a real practical reason. One is, and thanks for this question, never been asked it. I'm so stoked about questions I've never been asked right now.
Yes.
The practical answer to that is, like, learning a spoken word piece is work. Yeah. And it's you know, you got to do your thing, you got to memorize. I got a lot going on. There's a lot, you know, I'm not just a writer / speaker. I mean, I got this whole business, mom, and I don't want to add any concern about whether I'm going to hit it and remember it to my talk. I just really want to be present. But I had to get over that and just really work on embodying the poem that I'd written. And so now I open and close every talk with a spoken word piece. And I think, you know, I've crafted them enough. I'm trying to be so pure in how I deliver them. I really think that would be enough. I could just, that's it. 2 pieces. That's your $50 worth. And I also didn't want to, I don't know, I just didn't want to be a cheesy slam poet, arrogant, you know?
Yeah.
But now I need to do it. I really need to do it. Yeah, I need that bookend. Yeah.
Tell me around the need piece that you're saying. Why do you need to do it? Because this sounds like it's an inside expression.
Well, because I feel like, I mean, the beauty of poetry is you can say things in these really abstract, fluid ways that convey so much. Like, I can really help you. I can't get you to, because there's no guarantees, but I can really help you feel something. Way more than if I just give you an answer to the question or an opinion. Those are cool and useful too, but like, if I can just get that line and you go, oh, I so relate, then I really feel like I've done my job, and I just really want to do my job.
Yeah.
That's why I do the poetry now. Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. I'm actually a spoken word poet. And so I was so intrigued when you shared that on the stage, and we got to witness that, and excited to witness. Now you've got top and bottom. So it's a new evolution.
Sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, because you are on the speaking circuit right now, right? You're sharing your message, you're sharing your story on the podcast, on blog posts, and on stages. But I remember shortly after I saw you speak live in San Francisco, you made an intentional trade-off. You were on the no train of no speaking engagements, no getting on a plane. And I'm so curious what your thought process was around that, and what were you saying yes to instead?
When did you see me speak? Was I at the Yoga Journal conference?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I had actually the year before said no.
Okay. Yes.
I was just getting off the no.
Yes.
And so sorry, what was your question was why I got on the no train?
Yeah. So making that decision, that intentional trade-off, and
because I was at a gig and I didn't like my hotel room. And then, you know, I had to be to stage really early for a sound check. And I was like so resentful that I had to get up early. And they wanted me in the front row to listen to everybody else, which normally I'm like super happy to do. Then I did my gig, and then for lunch, they gave me a fucking muffin. And then I signed all these books and hugged and kissed and did all these photos. And then I went and did this film thing. They interviewed me on camera. And I was getting super cranky. Everything I've just mentioned is part of the job. Most of the time, it's a joy. I want to be there. I'm happy with the muffin. Give me a muffin. I got some green juice in my purse. I'm good. But when I realized, when I was getting bitchy about what it takes to do what I do, that which I love, that which I am born to do, I thought it's time to take a break and recenter, rest, and come back to it full-heartedly. And now I'm on. I'm in. I don't have, there's nothing to complain about. I mean, I get a little irritated with the security guys in airports and that authority attitude. I'm not into it. That's my only complaint about being on the road. Pillows. The pillows in hotel rooms, I don't understand why they're like 3 feet high. Why can't I just have a pillow that is, other than that, fuck, bring it on. Bring it on. I want to transmit. I want to be with people.
Yeah.
I want to do my job. Yeah.
I love that. So it was an intentional pause of, and I love that message of when it's not feeling so good and it's like your soul's work, it's like, let's take the foot off the pedal for a little bit and recenter and reground. That's beautiful.
It was so great. I felt, what a luxury. Such a luxury. Yeah.
Was there any FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, of taking the foot off the gas pedal for you to not have that consistent visibility and being with your people and loving on your tribe in that way?
Yeah. I would just, Quito, I thought maybe it would take a while to get back in, like who was going to call me? Who was going to call me for speaking gig? And would any speakers bureaus be on? But I knew I'd be fine. I was fine. Phone kept ringing. Yeah.
Good. So were you saying no, or was your team saying no as those opportunities were coming in? What was that process for you?
I have a really, what's the word? Ritualistic, natural, regular rhythm to know. Because there's lots of opportunities for all of us. I mean, it's not just about where you are in terms of visibility. It's that there's the parent-teacher meeting, and there's family holidays, and there's, are you going to join this club, and are you going to support your partner in this way? There's always, we're all getting invites. And my no is always kindly, of course. I mean, I don't even need to say that. And I often give a reason, not like a defensive reason, but just like, hey, you know what? I'm up to my earrings in a book tour right now. Or, you know what? I still want to be there every day when my kid comes home at 3 o'clock. Or sometimes I just give the purest, most simple response, which is, it just doesn't feel like a fit. And I'm really flattered that you asked. And God bless. And that's all true. Yeah.
Love that. Love the simplicity in that.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
It's always easy though. I just want to say that for everybody. This is a muscle.
Yeah. So tell me about that. What's going on? What's the script going on?
Well, the script is, Danielle, remember your priorities. Remember your health and your sanity, and that it's okay to be an introvert, and that you need time to be creative, and then you want to be here for 3 o'clock. That really, I mean, my life revolves around that snack I make my kid at 3 o'clock. He's 13. I still have the snack. Although he just gave me shit the other day. He's like, you haven't really made me a good snack in a while. You make your own snack. Anyway, so there's that prioritization. And then mostly I'm cool. I don't feel any rub. I'm just, it's that kind of God bless vibe. And there's sometimes, and everyone will relate to this, where I'm just like, I could lose big on this one. This might close, this one door closing could close a lot of other doors. I'm okay. Or we could really use the money for payroll. I should say yes to that lucrative thing. Yeah, it'll come.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, close one door, more doors open. Or I just feel peaceful and healthy, and I can go make other good things happen. And if somebody thinks I'm a bitch because I said no, or that I gotten too big for my britches, it's not only their problem, It's their inaccuracy. It's
Mm,
and I'm good. I know who I am.
we need to tweet that ish. So I recently cut my dreadlocks of 7 years, 2 months ago. So this is
Cut
like
them.
cut.
Yeah, I brushed mine out.
I was going to do that, but it just got to this place of just release.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing pictures of you and your previous business and with your business partner, and you had these like funky dreads. And I was like, oh, she's so crazy cool. I am curious of the story of you deciding to release the dreads. And I guess for you, brush them out.
Yeah. Okay. So I did the dreads for poetic expression, artistic reasons. And it's really hard for a white girl with fairly straight hair to maintain dreads. So they were difficult. And with my 5 planets in Virgo, I was just like, this is a real pain. And I brushed them out with a dog comb while I was watching documentaries. And then I re-dreaded my hair and I thought, I'm going to get them more perfect. This is about a year later. I did it again. And also the dude I was with at the time thought dreads were just really sexy and I was going to go for it. And then years later, so I just wanted to be free. So I picked them out again. I was like, I'm never doing it again. I did it. This is me. I'm just going to go for my new version of long and sexy. And then years later, I Instagrammed a photo of me in dread days. It was like a throwback Thursday.
Yes.
TBT.
Yes.
And I got in a bunch of shit from women of color about cultural misappropriation. And I was shocked. And first of all, it was my naivete. I didn't even know there was such a thing as cultural misappropriation. Although at the same time, I'd given a lot of my friends shit for doing tattoos that were Celtic or, our native Indians in Canada we refer to them, they refer to themselves as First Nations. I'm like, you're not even First Nations. What are you doing with that tattoo? And they're like, well, I totally relate to the culture. I'm like, well, that's offensive. So I did a little homework. So the meanness that came across with some of the women that gave me shit was not cool at all. At all. That's inappropriate, woman to woman, human to human. So that I do not stand for that or support that. And I did a little homework on dreads. I was like, was I really out of it and naive? And dreadlocks do not exclusively and solely belong to the African culture.
Yeah.
They have been used for other reasons, practical and spiritual in other cultures. I mean, there's the Vikings and lots of other folks throughout history. So, and I honor the hypersensitivity.
Yeah.
So let's call it. It's hypersensitivity. And I'm really respectful about the reasons behind that. So.
That's really good. So when I saw this,
that was conversation. Yeah.
Peeling the layers. And I was expecting like, oh, I released them because this new woman, this new me.
You have to take care of.
Yeah. There is the crochet method for those who want dreads and have more white girl hair, can totally like
you can
lock it up.
And there was a lot of threading for me. And I don't know, if I had curly hair, I might still have them because I really did love them.
Yeah.
Love
them. I have someone for you in San Francisco.
I wanted butterflies to land in all the time. But I will tell you, the spiritual part of doing it was this, like, I can be powerful without this. I don't need birds to land on my head to feel like I'm a goddess.
Yes.
I'm good.
Yeah. And I think that was one of the reasons why I was holding on. My husband actually thinks they're really sexy too. And I'm like, aren't they scratchy or itchy? And it was like exactly the same for you, just stepping into sensuality with not needing that to be the defining of how I identify with sensuality or creativity or being a little different.
And I mean, your dreads are part of your brand too. That's another kind of thing to throw off, is like, I'm still going to be of service, and I'm still going to be able to prosper without identifying with this. I get to change. And a lot of people in our space get so over connected, over identified with their own brand.
Mm-hmm.
You need to evolve as a person.
I want to go deeper with this because it will be soul food for me to hear into that, because that was definitely something. All my photos are like dreads, and
Right.
so let's talk about this attachment to identity and brand and how to evolve.
Yeah. Well, in the days when I used to do one-on-one work with clients, so I never called myself a coach because I wasn't. I was very clear. I'm a strategist. I'm just going to give you my opinion. Take what you want and leave the rest. I saw a lot of people outgrow their offering. They didn't want to talk about that anymore. They wanted to talk, they didn't want to like discredit what they'd said. They hadn't even changed their mind. They just wanted to talk about something new. They wanted to offer a new kind of service, but they have this following of people who expected them to talk about weight loss or intimacy in relationships or whatever their shtick was. And listen, you cannot work to please your people. You have to work to be self-expressed and then set out to give service and please them and give them everything that you want to give them. I mean, there's a super cheesy, overquoted saying from Henry Ford, inventor of the car, Ford car, where I think it's something like, if I would have asked them what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse. So if you want to be like really empowered and truly an artist, which we all are, you got to make what you got to make. And some people come with you and some won't, and that's cool. There's somebody else who meet their needs. Yes.
So could you tell your story? Because it sounded like you were going into it, right? With the one-on-one work strategist, and really move us through your story on just what you talked about of, I'm no longer doing this. I'm doing this over here.
Well, the short version of before that was, I'd started this company with a friend. It was a consultancy, and we had this formula for how you can identify like your brand and use that moniker to design your life and make decisions and everything. And I got fired, and we raised a bunch of money from a bunch of dudes, and Oprah called, and I didn't get on Oprah, and there was lots of betrayal, and it was a big mess. And I write about it in Firestarter sessions. And I'm grateful for everything I learned. That's really clear. So I left the company with a huge amount of debt and my fucking BlackBerry. Like, that'll tell you how long ago. Actually, wasn't that long ago. But, BlackBerry and my office chair. And I thought, well, I need money. I got to work. And I knew that I could help women and some men start online businesses and really rock it. Like, I knew how to grow it. So I did that. I called them Firestarter sessions. They started at $300 an hour. Eventually they were $600 an hour. I worked on supply and demand. Eventually, didn't take that long, $1,000 an hour. I was booked 6 months in advance. And I was telling people how to grow their Twitter following. And I got tired of it. I can't say the same thing all the time.
Totally.
And I also realized, like, I'm not built for one-on-one work. I gave those women value. I think most of them would say, like, I was giving them $10,000 ideas and really helping them make some chiropractic adjustments. But I needed to go write books and be of service in this more kind of, I'm a broadcaster.
Yeah.
I'm wired for broadcasting. Every time I go for therapy, I would say to my therapist, I don't know how you do this one-on-one work. I mean, we should just record this so we get this out to like 10,000 people at a time, and you can really help a lot of people. Some people are wired to just do that. So that was that transition. And there's been lots of transitions.
So I'm curious, in that transition, was there identity crisis of like, who am I? Who do I help? Any of those pieces that were coming up for you? Because I feel that's where everyone is in this completion 9 year. Now we're in a new 1 year, but it's still a little fuzzy. What was that? Can you like really bring us back to that, the dark, right? The hallway where you're just kind of straddling two worlds.
Well, I've never had an identity crisis. So there's that. I've been clear. It's all, what am I going to do with my identity? And how do I sell this?
Yeah.
Am I going to sell enough? Am I going to make enough to pay off my $10,000 website, my $800 website, now my $1 million website? Yeah. So does that answer your question?
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's the cash projects and the heart projects, and trying to get them to combine. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, is around that.
Well, here's how I can refine that. For me, everything is a heart project. It's how to make cash off of it in the smartest way. So, now that I have a team who's really logical, and so I'm constantly like, this is what I want to make. And I go to them and say, can I make it? Because we're a team now. And they say, yes, but not this year. And I go, come on. We can launch it. And they're like, okay, maybe in 8 months. Or sometimes I say, okay. And sometimes they come to me and they say, Dee, you should do this because that would support this and more traffic with that. And I go, fucking love it. It's great. Other times like, I don't want to do that. So lots of real co-creation.
Yeah. I love that.
But we make some tough decisions. Like, let's come out with it in digital first so we can make some bank, and then we'll print it. Because, had to take out a second mortgage on my house to print my White Hot Truth books.
Which is beautiful. The gold and everything. So I know we're wrapping up on the 30 minutes, and I want to honor your time and just thanking you for this cozy conversation. This last question I want to ask you, I actually heard it last week, and it's a little bit morbid, but also very intriguing.
Okay.
But if you knew you were going to die in 3 months.
3 months?
Yes. The unsung song, what is that wish? What would you be doing?
This is hard. When you have kids, answering this question is really hard. That's the first place you go. Because there were times in my life, I'm going to give you the long answer to this. We'll go over time, where I've always been happy to be here. But before I had my son, I could have gone either way. Really just like, I'd be okay if life got called short. Then, that being comes in and you want to see them up and out, but you also just really love being with them. And that's, until my son was born, I really didn't get that, human love is like just the best thing. It's the reason to be here. What would my unsung song be? Well, I have a lot of really fierce, somewhat angry things to say about corporate America right now, and economics. And I have something. I'd want to say more about materialism, I think. So there would be that, and it would be pretty harsh and true. And therefore liberating and empowering. That's how that works. And at the same time, I would want to say, just be a good friend. Be a good friend. And then I would just blow town. I think I want to die in France. So I'd probably go off and eat a lot of baguettes.
And cheese, maybe.
There would be brie involved.
Yes.
And die happy.
And I'd love to just create a full circle, because I know you pulled your son into this last moment. And I'm just curious, what's your favorite way to connect with your son?
Oh, the 20-second hug. because we read a little piece about this, that you have to hug for 20 seconds to get that. I think it's the oxytocin, or is it serotonin or the dopamine? I don't know. Love chemical. And if you, so we got 20 seconds and we hug a lot in the kitchen, and he's 13. So now I have to put my head on his shoulder. It's really weird. I'm like, I need a boyfriend, because and you can actually feel it. Everybody tonight, or the next hug you give, find someone and you do the 20-second one, and you'll feel it. You'll be like, we count. I go, there it is. And you get it before 20 seconds is up, and you feel that little warm rush. That's the best way. And at night, always at night, putting your kid to bed, part of it is they're more open because they want to extend it. I mean, I've mentioned he's 13 years old, but I still tuck that dude in, and we have a conversation about what's going on in our lives.
I love
And
that.
that's a magic time.
Yeah. I shared, the side by side and in the dark allows that vulnerability to really open up, and you're so close, skin to skin contact. So I think we are wrapping it on the perfect, cozy conversation. Thank you, Danielle, for sharing your love, your light, your expression in the world. It's such a gift.
Thank you. You are radiant, radiant and really present. So yeah, this is a great way to spend my lunch hour. Thank you.
Yay. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everybody. Mwah, mwah, mwah.